is Nia, and today I have another reading journal video. Just keep in mind this will include some light spoilers at points, so if you've been warned if you keep watching. And also, these are just my opinions on the book. Everyone has different tastes in terms of their likes and dislikes. Art is subjective, and sometimes my reasons for rating a book may contradict the way I rate a different book, but I'm not comparing works, I'm just rating each one individually based on how I feel at that given time. Today, we'll be discussing Iron Widow by Xiran Jay Zhao. This is book 1 of the Iron Widow Duology. I watched a video where this woman was breaking down like influencer like things that they do and like the gestures that they do. And she's like, one of the ones that they do is like this claw thing. And ever since I watched that video, I noticed that I will notice when I do some variation of that motion, and I caught myself and it threw me off. Anyways, like I said, this is book 1 of the Iron Widow Duology, and the audiobook is narrated by Rong Fu. When Zetian becomes a concubine-pilot in order to assassinate the pilot responsible for her sister's death, it's discovered that she's an Iron Widow, a rare female pilot who can overpower and sacrifice males in order to power and control Chrysalises, these magical transforming robots used to fight the aliens plaguing Huaxia. In an attempt to control and tame her, Zetian is paired with Li Shimin, the strongest pilot in Huaxia. However, she is determined to grow her power in order to force society to treat the women and girls better. This book was published in February 2023 by Tundra Books. It's a YA science fantasy duology. I picked it up because the author popped up on my FYP when the book first came out, and it sounded super interesting. It was described as Pacific Rim meets The Handmaid's Tale in an ancient Chinese inspired setting. The cover was really colorful, and it didn't look like a lot of other covers that I've seen. There's so many books that follow this kind of like same template, specifically in the fantasy and science fiction genres, but this one was like interesting and different. I like how the dragon wraps around from the front to the back, and then Zetian is on the cover and kind of just has like this badass aura about her. After reading the description, I wanted to learn more about the lore and like the blending of historical Chinese culture with the Qi magic system that's set in this like semi-medieval, semi-high-tech society, which was something that I was trying to accomplish in my book last year. Also, there's like giant robot versus alien fights, which is super cool. All right. Zetian is a woman enraged by her circumstances, and rightfully so. She's unapologetic in her anger and in her impulsivity and in her vengeance. She's a demolition ball swinging through society. And you could argue that sometimes she makes things worse by not thinking her actions through, because everything has consequences, but in some instances, dealing with the consequences of those actions is a better option than letting things remain as they were, like in status quo. The author does a great job of describing the setting and the fights. Many of the fight scenes are longer, with Zetian and Li Shimin traveling over large distances in their robot, so the reader goes from being in their minds to spectating the fight from a distance to being in the fight, and then like back and forth. And then the imagery is very vivid and clear, especially with the technical descriptions of the Chrysalises. And it reminded me of like in Pokemon when they talk about like, you know, the evolving Pokemon, and it was like the same with the Chrysalises and their different levels and power upgrades. I also really enjoyed the evolution of the love triangle between Zetian, Li Shimin, and Yizhu into a throuple. Each pairing develops its own relationship, and the characters are very communicative. Am I saying this word correct or incorrect? The characters communicate with each other about their feelings, especially once it becomes clear that they were feelings from all the parties. I feel like I've mostly seen poly relationships done very poorly. A lot of the times the author uses like miscommunication as like a plot device to cause conflict and jealousy between the characters, and the relationships turn into like these toxic situations that are like, I was so glad that this was not one of them. There are so many other conflicts happening in the book that the romance plot does not need to be one of them. So the moments where the romance is developing between the three characters are very sweet. I enjoyed the story, especially the twist at the end, and I look forward to reading the sequel. Like I said, Iron Widow is a duology, which I have been liking recently because with the scope of this story, it needed more than one book, but personally, I don't always have the attention span for a series that's longer than 3 books, maybe 5 at most. And the author's writing style uses like clear, plain language for the most part, which is really helpful in explaining the lore and the scientific elements of the world. The main character, Zetian, is the narrator, and she's very straightforward and blunt, which is reflected in the tone of the prose. Overall, I really liked how brash, unapologetic, and impulsive Zetian is, and I admire her quest for vengeance and justice and the lengths that she's willing to go to. She doesn't care about being nice or if people like her. Her goals go far beyond engaging in social niceties, and there's a lot of action. There's magic, elemental magic, which I love. There's aliens and giant robot fights, and it blends science fiction and fantasy elements very well. And like I already mentioned, I really enjoyed the romance, but the end had me stressed out, which is why I started the next book immediately. But if you watched my 2025 one sentence review video, then you'll know I haven't finished it yet, but I'm looking forward to it. But I did start it, and I was still stressed at the beginning of that book. Also, I really like the detail about Li Shimin glaring all the time, not because he's like angry and evil or mean, but it's because he needs glasses and he's just squinting so that he can see. And that would be my favorite part of both books, probably. I gave this book 4 stars. I definitely recommend it. Let me know if you've read these books or if they're on your TBR. Let me know what you're reading right now. If you like this video, you can check out some of my older reading journal videos, as well as my writing vlogs or my bullet journal videos. Thank you so much for watching. Bye! Communicative.